Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 467. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and I've got a very special guest host slash interview this week. Everybody, welcome back to the show, Blake Morgan of Blake's Buzz. What's going on, Blake?
What's up, dude? I remember that. I kind of forgot for a second. It was what, me, Cole, Greg, and you? Was that?
Yeah, I think you've done another one too with just me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about the team.
I forget
that was fun.
We've collabed a few times. I've been on your stuff. Yeah, always a good time talking with you. So I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, I was stoked to catch up.
So everybody who listened last week, I kind of said that I had somebody who was at ComicsPro who I wanted to bring in and talk to and have a chat with and everything. And in lieu of doing a comic creator interview this week, because a lot of them fell through, to be honest with you, and plus I wanted to talk to Blake, I figured let's bring Blake in. Let's talk about some ComicsPro, because you were there, you were working, doing a bunch of cool stuff, but we were saying before I hit record, this has become kind of the third pillar, not really con, but like announcement farm of the year. We've got New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, and I feel like this has become kind of the early of the year big announcement thing. Mm-hmm. So I guess first, what were you doing there? I know you're working for a few different companies now.
Yeah.
Which one of them had you out there?
So I was, I was out there by none of the companies I work for. I was out there with Kyle Northrup, who is the producer of the EXP and their streaming programming. And he has a multimedia company, and he does like sporting events. He'll do like they DJ party, like big corporate parties and stuff. And so he went out there to set up cameras to like for streaming and multimedia purposes, and to run like the PAs for the presentations, and to he was the AV guy, and he needed a helper because it was a pretty astronomical operation with just the two of us even. And so I was like, they paid for my flight, they paid for my hotel room. And so I had a hotel room in the convention center, right? So, or like in the hotel attached to the convention place. Yeah. Which was awesome because it's just like, you never know who you're going to see like in the bar or at the like at breakfast. And anyway, so I was there, everything was paid for. And yeah, I had to, run the levels, make sure the streams were going, starting in the streams. And then we had to setting everything up. Like the first day I was out there from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. almost, was like crawling around, taping wires to the floor, running mic lines, checking levels, checking the cameras in the breakout rooms. It was gnarly. I was way over my head. I had cameras attached to joysticks, right, that were hooked to like they were hooked hardlined with network cable and HDMI, so I could like move these cameras with a joystick and zoom in and out to like get the angles right, and when people move around on the stage because they never stand still. So like, but we had like we had different camera angles and stuff, and which was crazy when Jim Lee came out, and it was it was really, really cool, and I got to play with like thousands of dollars of like tech, and yeah, it was fun. It was crazy. So that's what I was doing out there. And then my side hustle while I was out there was my day job, Prana Direct Market Solutions, and Adam Freeman and the Comics the Magazine team, like Joe Keating and Gabe Yoakum, and then oh my God, Keith. I couldn't remember Keith's name for a second. Keith Davidson. Like all our sales guys were out there, so we were like pitching the comic, trying to sell ads and stuff, and we had like a table in the vendor room, the exhibitor hall. So that stuff was going on the side, and so I was kind of running around helping make content for Comics and Magazine and content for the event, because everybody found out I had a nice camera, and so I had my camera out there, but my nice camera doesn't take the best stills. So like there was this really cool charity auction, and I took like 200 something pictures, and I think 20 of them are good. Which, I mean, that's the way photography goes, but I don't anyway, it was a lot of stuff. And so I just felt like I was running around in circles, man. And it was, the first day I did not hydrate, and I dehydrated. I went up to the hotel room early because I got sick. But then after that, I drank a ton of water and everything was fine. But yeah, we got free in and out the first night, right? So like there's like some presentations, and then all the vendors had, like, I met Mark Russell, and like that was the night Hickman was there, and I met Hickman and he was signing stuff. And so like they had this very, very small convention hall that was just packed with like icons of our industry. It was nuts. Like David Mack was there. Anyway, so like all these people like crammed in this little room. And so I was trying to film footage and like going through, and the room was real hot. I was like, I noticed, I'm sweating. I'm a disgusting, fat, sweaty man. Just like, I'm gross. And I was like, who? And the Kyle, my coworker, that guy who flew me out there, he was like, I was like, man, I feel weird. And he was like, have you eaten? And I was like, no. And he was like, go outside and get your free in and out. You know, and I had my ticket. So I go out there, I get a double animal style fries and Diet Coke. And I'm standing there, and I realize I'm outside, and it's kind of even chilly, and I'm sweating, dude. I'm like, I don't feel good. And I'm standing next to Teenie Howard. And I was like, oh, say what's up. Say you like her books. And I was like, no, you're
Teenie,
sweaty.
I love your work.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know I look like I'm about to die. But so I was like, I just won't say anything. And so I got my burger, and it like looked perfect and smelled delicious. Ignition Press was the one who like got the In-N-Out trucks out there for this event. It was sick. Nice. So I like go inside, and I sit next to some people I met, and dude, I take one bite of this In-N-Out, and it like tastes really good, but I like can't swallow it. I'm just chewing it, and I'm like, and I finally like swallow it, and I'm like, that didn't, you know, I was like, food's supposed to be enjoyable. Like, this is not the In-N-Out experience I was told about, you know? So I was like, I try to eat a couple fries, and I was like, I don't feel good. So I like Irish goodbye and went up to the room. And then like got like laid in bed, and I was like shivering. I was like, fuck, I'm not getting sick. I was like, this is not happening. And then I just realized, man, I was go all day. I didn't drink any water. I didn't eat all day. I won't lie. I was, I'm a daily marijuana user. The first 2 days in California of all places, I didn't smoke or anything. I was just like, and I was, I wasn't like mad or nothing, but it was just like, it was a weird adjustment period. And then finally, yeah. I was like, I had time to like, I got it delivered to the hotel, but yeah, I never did really have time to like Uber to a dispensary and like, but oh man, I ended up, I guess I made a journalist very happy too before I left, because I had a lot of, they had to, all right, this is a funny story. So I don't smoke for 2 days, right? I figure out that all I needed to drink was water and everything was fine. So I get a little bit of smoke. The first night, like I get it and it's delivered, and I got this, I thought I bought a 5-pack and I bought a 15-pack. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I got 4 more days down here, you know, and I got to work. So the first night I finally go outside, they're like these little half joints. I smoke this joint, and I'm like, oh, nice. Finally, I go head up to the hotel room. My floor, I was on the 11th floor. I get to the 11th floor, dude. I walked 2 laps around the 11th floor, and I was just like, forgot where my room was, kind of forgot what I was doing, and I was just kind of giggling. And then I was like, oh, so that was cool. But then I left all that with someone was like, Blake, I heard you had some stuff left. I'd like left a note for the wait staff. I was like, enjoy. Thanks for cleaning my room. And I ended up giving it to one of the journalists that was out there, and so I hope they had fun. But yeah, this dispensary. I bought a cart and forgot to buy a battery. Oh, I thought I was getting like a self-contained thing. So they deliver
like one of those vape units.
Yeah, like I thought I was buying a vape, and so I bought the cartridge but no battery, and so they had to come back out. And every time they came out, they gave me 2 free joints. So like I had all these free joints, and then the joints I bought, and then this cartridge, and I was just like, I'm like, I kind of overkilled it here. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, like we have pretty good stuff in Kansas City, but that California smoke was nice. So that was cool. But like, so that was like the only like California thing I really got to experience, because I was in the hotel the whole time. I did get to go to Revenge of.
Yeah.
That was a cool shop. The Revenge of comics and pinball place. Like,
oh yeah,
that's where the Radiant Black party was. Oh, dude, that place was nuts. Like, I could not imagine working there. Like, I would like the way the shop's set up is that like the shelves all have these crazy like LED lights, and the games are all lit up, and they sell they had all these like novels and stuff now too, which is, I guess, more and more shops are doing because if you buy from PRH Penguin Random House, and they sell books too. So a lot of shops are stocking like Dungeon Crawler Carl and stuff, which I almost bought. Almost bought the hardcover volume 1 because the hardcovers look so good. I love the dust jackets and stuff. But we've been talking about that book nonstop on the show. Like, I see you talking about it, and I have I want to read it really, really bad. I was doing pretty good on prose, man. And I started reading comics again. So like now I'm reading Radiant Black. I finally started doing that, and I'm on.
It's your first time reading it? Oh, dude, yeah. I love Radiant Black.
It's so good. Like, I'm on like Radiant Red, or no, I just read Radiant Red, so it's like they just took the city into outer space, and the other red hero showed up. She's there with her mom. That's where. So I'm like,
Radiant Pink. No, Radiant Pink's the.
It's the other. It's red. Hold on, it's right here. It's because I bought the Humble Bundle. Because Bink, this really cool organization that I've been dealing with at work, Bink is on Inferno Girl Red.
Oh, Inferno Girl, yes.
That's what I'm reading right now.
I've got the second volume, the first couple issues of the second volume. I haven't cracked it yet, but I love that first volume. It was great.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. I love all the, like, it all feels cohesive, even though there's all these different writers and artists involved. It's very cool. And I like I read the first couple issues when they were coming out, but I was doing press and shit then, right? So I would read, a couple issues and review stuff and move on to something else. And I never really got time to stick with. I still don't get a lot of time to stick with series because, I mean, shit. Like today, I gotta build 2 Kickstarter pages. And then to like get into the vibe of Kickstarter pages, I reread the comics because I'm writing copy for them, And so like I read a ton of comics for work, and then I don't have a lot of time. So yeah, when I've been sneaking like chapters of Radiant Black or the Massive Verse here and there, and it was cool. Like I didn't get to meet him but they were on a back patio doing like they had like a PA setup outside of outside of Revenge of, and like Kyle Higgins was talking about it, and they're talking about the new animated series, which is, which is really exciting. Like that was 2 things surprised me at ComicsPro. And one of them was I was surprised and happy with how much manga talk was happening. Like, Kodansha, Yen Press, Square Onyx, they all had big presentations and like lots of cool books to show off. And I went to their round tables, which is where you go into these side rooms and you sit like 8 people to a table with like 2 to 3 reps from a publisher, and they talk about new books that are coming out, and they answer questions, and they help you like talk to you about how to sell stuff, which was really cool. And then they also give you like free, like I got so much free shit. I had to mail it back to me, dude. I got like boxes of like single issues, ComicsPro variants from Boom, Marvel, DC, IDW stuff, like, man. And then I went to the parties, like the DC Vertigo party and the We Heart Comics party with Tinian and Rosenberg. And it's like, I got like DC shirts, a DC water bottle. I got 3 copies of that Exquisite Corpses card game that comes out on Kickstarter later. And all this shit is selling for crazy money on eBay. And I asked, I was like, is it okay to like sell? Like, will they get mad at you? And they're like, no, they want you to sell this. They give this shit to us to like sell it in our online stores or talk about it on Whatnot or, you know, try and sell it in the shops. So like a lot of this stuff, and a lot of it I'm going to keep, but like some of the variants, like
it's a win-win because the shops get a little extra income for some special thing, and then there's a little bit more buzz on whatever product these people are pushing. So
those card games are going for like $70, dude.
I know.
I don't need 3 of them.
I know someone. Are you familiar with HeroClix?
Yeah.
I know someone that does some stuff with HeroClix. I won't go too much into it, but when he goes to those cons, he gets like all the con exclusives, and that's how he pays for his trip.
Nice.
Like he just comes back and sells them, and that's, you know, his trip's paid for.
So I didn't get one because I'm not a retailer. So the high end items, like you have to like have the shop and show that you're the member, you know, you own the shop or you're associated with them. So every retailer got a Dark Knight Returns 1 in 500 variant from that like Klaus Jensen did. And then it was signed by him and Frank. And so, and those are already going for like 2,000-3,000 on eBay. We looked at them. And so like some people are paying for these trips with those. And then Bad Idea, excuse me, Bad Idea had people come up to, they had a suite. And so Bad Idea did a quick presentation, and then they were like, come up to the suite. And they had like Johnny Walker up there and like hors d'oeuvres and shit. And if you were a retailer, you got a 1 in 99 new book by Mark Waid, signed by Mark Waid. Those are selling for like $2,000 because there's only fucking 99 of them. So I mean, some of these retailers can cash out on some of this stuff, and again, it's like it's not frowned upon; it's expected. It gets hype out about these books, gets hype out about the publishers. Like already, people are like, "What, Mark Waid? Bad idea," you know? Like that's and so it's really cool. And yeah, I've got boxes of swag, and it's sick. Like I can't like I got a trade paperback of Geiger that I don't need. So like I'll probably give away some stuff. And I don't like snapbacks, so I got a James Tynion's new merch. I got a snapback hat of his, so I was probably gonna give like that away. Yeah. I don't really need the Vertigo water bottle. I got a sweet DC Vertigo shirt though. That's mine. Because dude, when I showed up to the party, they had like these gift bags out there on the table, right? And they had them like they had the shirt sizes, like and so I was like, I thought it was cool. It's like, oh, they got them for wide boys, like because
they know their audience.
Yeah, I know. So, like that was cool. But yeah, it's like I did not realize all this swag. I got oh my god, I can't think of his name. He does Beneath the Trees.
Oh.
You edit this.
It's not
right?
Rosenberg, is it?
No. I did meet him though. But Patrick Horvath. He was there with his new hardcover, just signing hardcovers and for free. And like I had to stand in line for it, and the line was like 5 whole minutes long, maybe. You know, it was just like so. When there was a line, they were like kind of short. There was Todd McFarlane did a short signing, and I didn't have anything for him to sign, and we were busy. And I ended up meeting, that was when I got to meet, oh my God, David Dismalchian and do that short little, I got to record a little clip with him. And so I was actually pretty stoked that I did that instead of waiting the huge line for Todd. But there was this one retailer, dude, he was standing there and he had gone to like all the shops in the area and bought like cheap Todd McFarlane covers. So there's dudes just standing in this Todd McFarlane, because a lot of people had no idea Todd was going to do this pop-up signing, right?
Yeah.
So this guy's just like, Todd McFarlane covers $10. I mean, left and right, dude, just shelling out these $10 bills, dude. Dude made bank in this line because no one had McFarlane covers to sign.
These retailers know how to hustle.
Dude, yeah, I was like, he was talked about all weekend. Like everybody was like, I bet that guy's shop's doing well.
Yeah.
You know, like he knows what to do. But yeah, I didn't really meet him, but I went up to him and was like, hey Todd, can I snap a couple pictures for ComicsPro? And then this lady in line was like, he has to keep signing. And I was like, yeah, totally. And so he like looked up and smiled, and I was like, so that was cool. And I hugged Rob Liefeld. I never thought that would happen. I guess I don't I'm not a huge fan of his.
So he doesn't want my hug. I've talked too much shit about him.
Well, dude, kind of same. Like I got into a fight with him online and like Bleeding Cool. Like there's a Bleeding Cool article. Well, I guess it doesn't have my tweets in it anymore because I deleted my Twitter. But all I said to him was like, "Hey, man, you should just be nice to your peers. Like you don't have to like what they're writing, but you don't have to come out and be like everybody at Marvel sucks." And because I remember like he hurt Donny Cates' feelings, like. And I'm not a huge Donny Cates fan either, but like Donny, they had him on their podcast when they had that when him and Stegman had that poppin' podcast, and they all hit it off, and they were like, "Oh, we're all good friends now," and they like, you know, they were like acting like they were all buddies, and then Rob Liefeld was like, "No one is writing good books at Marvel," and Donny was like, "Wow, man, I thought we had something." And Rob was like, "Not really." I was just like, you know, and I was just like, I don't like toxicity like that, especially in this industry. It's so small, and it's just like it's so easy for like people to hear things, and it doesn't help sell books. I don't think. Really,
what got me with him was I don't know if you remember, he was supposed to do that superhero book for Archie years ago.
Oh yeah,
and it got canceled because some retailer hired an artist to do a variant cover for their shop, and he got all pissed that the variant cover spoiled his book. Now, I'm sure you've met a few people who do these like variant covers for shops. They don't get the book ahead of time. So he didn't spoil shit because he didn't know.
Yeah.
Or if he did, it was accidental. And Rob should know that. So he canceled the book. He called out the retailer and the artist and was like talking shit about him. And I said something to him on there, and he responded, but it was a quick like, you know, "Who are you?" Which, you know, fair. Yeah. But I'm also like, dude, this is some kid, some guy just trying to hustle his way in. Like he's trying to get in, and you go and just blast him.
That's crazy.
Like the Levi jeans dude just blasted him. You know, like I fuck you. It's already bad enough you created Deadpool. Now you're gonna do this to me.
Yeah. So when I saw him, and I was just like, oh shit, and I was like, oh fuck it. Like I was like, Rob, can we do a selfie? He's like, oh yeah, get over here, man. And I was like, cool. And and then when I posted the selfie, I was like, met Rob Liefeld this morning. My buddy Juan was like, oh, how quickly we forget. And I was like, no, I didn't forget, man. He was right there. Excited part, you know, regardless of what you think of him, he was around for a lot of cool shit in this industry. Yeah. And, you know, and so and you know, like I
give him props for being a part of Image and everything. Like,
no, yeah, and you know what? He could have told me to fuck off. He could have said he was busy, you know, and he just. I'm sure he wouldn't have told me to fuck off, right? He would have just been like, oh, I'm not right now, bud, or something, you know, like come back later, you know. And he was just like, you know, he was excited. He smiled. He said, you know, I said thanks, and he was cool, and but yeah, I just. And I could have been like, you were mean to me online one time, Rob. You know, like, and he would have done the same thing. You know, who are you? But yeah. So I was just like, you know, the vibes of ComicsPro were so welcoming and warm, and like everybody was so nice. There was like, you know, it was just like it was like everybody knew you, even if they didn't. Yeah. You know, and it was no one sat alone at a table. You know, like that, they're real big on that, you know, they're like, oh, come eat with us, come out with us. And it was just like, you have to try to be excluded at this thing. So yeah, like when I saw Rob, and I was just like, oh yeah, you know, and I was just like, that was cool. And so yeah. And I think he's still edgy, you know, and he's still Rob, but you know, he does his new videos now of like, who's better, who beats who. And it's just, you know, it's like Mortal Kombat style, you know, win, fight. And it's, you know, he's not like throwing names under the bus or calling people out. He's just kind of having fun with comics. So, I mean, I think maybe he's even changed a little bit.
I think he's calmed down a little bit, but I did hear an interview with him recently, and he's still like, I think he's calmed down in that sense, but he's still kind of full of himself, which does rub me the wrong way. But like, I get it. Like, you know, but what I would like to know, so you've done cons in the past. I mean, you've been talking about comics for years now and everything. This Comics Pro is very retailer centric. It was born out of the idea of let's get all the retailers together, help them out. You mentioned a few things as you were talking there along those lines, but now it's kind of morphing a little bit. I see like press is getting in, and the past couple of years we've had big announcements, and I feel like this year was fucking rapid fire. Like everywhere I turned, like a new thing's announced at Comics Pro.
Mm-hmm.
How are the announcements different? Like are they really just trying to get the word out to the retailer to get them excited with these announcements, as opposed to getting the consumer excited? Or how did that flow?
You see a lot more. Like the press releases that get dropped shortly after these things, like the retailers get a sneak peek. The retailers sometimes get a little advanced plot synopsis. Like these the kind of things are coming. This is some stuff you can tease or be excited about. So they do get a little bit more information because they're selling it, right? So there's but I mean it's also not like there were a couple times in the presentations like Yen Press, like we muted the audio and cut the camera because it was embargoed information strictly for retailers, and like Bleeding Cool, like Rich Johnson was in the chat almost the whole time, and like as soon as he saw it in the chat, like it was up on Bleeding Cool. So anyway, like there is some additional information that you get in an advanced look kind of into the solicits that the world will see later as the solicits emerge in their due time. But yeah, they're just you get to see a little bit more. So that's they are wanting more press to come in and like, press, if you have a membership, the press could watch the streams and stuff. So, I don't think anything super like crazy would have been, leaked. So but yeah, that's a good question. Cause it's a little bit different. Things are worded a little bit differently. Cause it is more, it's more of it's a cool topic and we're learning about cool stories, but there's a marketing niche like threaded into it where they're reminding you of like, what to stock, what to sell. When we're learning about new manga, it's because of like, oh, these new series are about to drop. So like you should stock way heavy on this. So some of that stuff, like, the public may not be into, but that's also not true because, if you stock heavy on something, that means it's a hot book. That means it's a manga worth checking out too, right? So like,
or there's like an anime coming out. So like, hey, this anime is coming out. We're resoliciting volume 1 through whatever. Bring those in for your people. They'll watch the anime and then want to buy the manga, whatever. Yeah.
Or like there's these. Oh my God, Kodansha's doing these new beautiful hardcover, like omnibus editions of Attack on Titan. And like, cause one of the best things of manga lately is manga is taking those deluxe hardcovers that that Western comics have been big on. Cause like manga there are hardcover manga, but I don't know if it's just generally they don't care because I know like people like the box sets and the boxes and stuff are getting nicer and people like that but even then it's all trade paperbacks in the boxes. But anyway, so like all these new oversized big beautiful hardcovers with like gilded edge pages and all this stuff starting to come out from manga. Dark Horse was kind of real big on, they did the Berserk, they did Immortal Blade of the Immortal or something. We're probably saying that wrong. But anyway, Dark Horse has done several of them, and now other companies are doing that too. And
that's how
so
I'm reading
awesome.
Vinland Saga is like
in the new
deluxe.
ones. Yeah. I hear that's awesome. I hear that's a very, very good book.
It's a very good book. It's a very deep book. And for someone like me who has a lot of feelings about violence and war, it dives deep into those like theories and themes and how a man feels after years of being in war and living in a war society and all. It's a deep book. It's not just it's Viking Vikings? Bro go.
Yeah, it's about Vikings though, kind of.
Yeah, right? Like Leif Erikson's a character in the book. but he's like an old man by the point you meet him.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the kid in the lead character, the kid who becomes the lead at the end of like the third or fourth volume. It's really about his dad for the first part of it, who's this like immortal warrior who just like is like, fuck war, fuck all this. I'm just gonna go live on a farm in this village. And then his past comes back and brings him in, but he's just like trying to tell his kid like, don't do this. Like this is not a life worth living. And then it turns into the kid like seeking revenge for his father's death and all this. It's a really deep, heavy book, but I love it. It's great. Yeah. Like
I love, I more and more, I love manga. There's so much of it. There's weird stuff. I started the summer Hikaru died, and it's like, it's this weird, like homoerotic horror story. It's gnarly. And it's like, it's really, really creepy. And it's also like this kid lost his best friend. Right. And then his best friend came back, and he knows it's not his best friend. He knows it's somebody else, but he's so lonely and misses his friend so bad because he's also kind of secretly in love with this kid, with these like emotions that he never wanted to address. And so he's so lonely and broken that he's establishing the relationship again with this. It's a monster. It's something else, right? And then there's a scene. All right, spoiler, but it's in the first volume, and this book's been out for a while. There's a scene where he like takes his shirt off, and he's got this like seam that goes up and down the dead boy, right? Hikaru. And there's like a black inside of it, and he kind of like opens it up, and he's like, this is how I got here. He like, whatever's inside of him like went in anyway. And so there's this like, it's not a wound, but it's like almost like a zipper opening and closing. Anyway, he opens it, and he's like, you want to put your hand inside? and he's like, no, but he does it anyway. And he's like, really? And I was almost shaking reading it. Like, it's super scary. It's super weird. I've never read anything like it. And he puts his hand in, and you're like, what's going to happen? You know, thinking like something's going to pull him in or grab him or bite his fucking arm off or something, you know? And it's just like it's blowing my mind. And as much as I love Western comics and American comics and even like European comics, we're not getting weird like that in anything yet, you know?
I've said for a while that manga has the weird factor going, because like my favorite mangas right now are Delicious in Dungeon, Vinland Saga, and then Mr. Mega Man, which just the way they approach everything, whether it's solo stuff on their own, creating a new thing. Yeah, they have their commercial stuff. I love Dragon Ball Z, you know, that type of stuff. But then you get something like Rooster Fighter, which is basically Dragon Ball Z, but like, what if it was a chicken? He was fighting demons. And then you get like, let's do a Mega Man comic. And in America, we just retell the video games. No, they're like, what if he aged up like a normal person, was an adult now, who decided to become a dentist, and then is like meeting up with the robot masters and trying to make up for like their past violence. I'm like, what is this? I love it. It's amazing. But they just, they know how to go strange with it. And then Delicious in Dungeon, it's a fantasy book, but it's a cookbook. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
There's another new one coming out that I can't remember the name of it. That's one I have the handout. A lot of publishers give you handouts, which is super helpful. So like I have those are all getting shipped back too. But like a lot of like cool, like again, like stuff that's telling you to stock these in your shop probably means it's a good book worth checking out. Right. So like I was like saving some of that stuff, thinking of researching it, but there's a new one. It's this elf, and it's her job to sneak into dungeons and hide treasure chests. So it's basically like when you're in a video game, right? Or you're looting and you know, like you come across these treasure chests, you know, who fucking puts these things there? They made a manga about it, and like the art looks really good and everyone's real excited about it. And so, and it's just like, you think about it and it's just like, it's simple and weird, but they all do one thing really good. They have great storytelling and great writing, and they all have like really emotional, like universal truths in them. Like even Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is ridiculous fighting, right? And like, let's get more power and stuff, but it's also like accepting who you are and accepting that like you're worthy enough to like fight these colossal beings. And like, it's about believing in yourself, and it's when you break these things down. And so a lot of these like weird manga books, like The Summer Hikaru Died, you learn about yourself while reading them. You're like, oh, maybe I do have weird thoughts, but it's like, it's okay. It's okay to be comfortable with who I am, and it's like, I think a lot of people need reminded about that. I really do. I need reminded about it a lot. So that's one thing I see manga doing that I wish kind of Western comics would reflect is, but you know what, again, I have seen some Western comics try and do that. And then you get accused of like, you're ruining my characters, and you're putting, the putting politics and personal things into narratives. People have thoughts on that. Right. And so it seems like manga doesn't have to deal with that as much, which is kind of nice. I think because there's so much, they're just like, if we don't like it, we don't buy it. And in the manga market, that means a lot.
It's also, they don't have, okay, they have Astro Boy. I'll give it that, but they don't have Batman, who's been around for, we're coming close to 100 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, and people have an expectation of a character like that. Like, this is
true.
I fell in love with this character, where I think you can get away with something like that a little bit more in an indie title, or like just a non-big two title, but we like to IP farm in America. So there's a lot of big IPs, and we don't pay attention to the fringes of the independent comic space, which is where more of that can happen. Like, look at Saga. Saga is a very like feminine focused, sex positive romance title, and it's one of the biggest comics in the world. Now, for reasons, I fell off of it, but that was one of my favorite titles for a long time. I don't like, none of those things describe me, Blake. but except for maybe sex positive. But anyways, it's we need to like get more into that. And I think Ignition Press, actually, you said they were there and they did a lot of cool things. I think they have an idea that's going to work towards that, because one of the things that nobody talks about with the manga space is that there's a pipeline of like, hey, make this manga, become popular, get an anime, get rich, and we don't have that as much. We're seeing more. I mean, Walking Dead happened, Invincible's happening. We got the Beauty that's becoming big right now, all these different things. But if we have more of a pipeline of like, this is how we make these things popular, is through the multimedia phase. Like, comics are a stepping stone to a thing to get them back, and then to cycle them back through. I think you could see more of that, especially with independent books.
Well, and that's a great segue, because when Robert Kirkman did his keynote speech, that's exactly what he talked about, dude. He was like, he had like notes on his iPad. He's very funny. He's very, I've never heard him talk. I've read written interviews by him, right? But I've never really heard him talk or heard him on a podcast. And so he's just like, just a chill guy. You forget that, I forget that, there's like these people, you talk to these people and you think they're going to be like mysterious geniuses and stuff. And they're just like regular people with cool ideas, anyway.
He's the dude who said, I grew a beard because Alan Moore had a beard. Like, yeah.
So he was up there cracking jokes, and he kind of stumbled on his speech a few times, and he was like, guys, I'm not very prepared. he's like, so I'm just going to read this. But he was talking about Invincible, talking about the animation, and then he's talking about, he introduced his new superhero, the new superhero world. And he started talking about that, which was kind of like that. To me, that's crazy, because like, you just have another superhero universe up your sleeve. Like you did Invincible, you did this huge thing, and it's even getting new spin on Battle Beasts and all this weird stuff, and it's expanding slowly now, right? And then they talked about the Energon universe and how they've been very careful expanding it, but he's very much one of the key figureheads behind that. Right. There's a lot of creators there, but he's in those rooms and he's at the table, and it has to fit into the vision that he's one of the main people creating it, so he's puppeteering a lot of that. So he's like building this other world, and then he's like, oh yeah, and I got this other superhero world that we're going to do too. And then he's basically like retelling Watchmen as G.I. Joe with masks, and he's like, he's like, I see this as like, how Watchmen kind of critiqued the superhero tropes and archetypes with the Watchmen team. That's what he wants to do with like G.I. Joe and this Mask comic, is kind of like, make fun of it and deconstruct it. Anyway, so I'm real excited about that. But he started talking about the Radiant Black animated series, and he's like, it's an exciting time, and I am excited for comics and animation. And that's the note, like the sounding note that he kind of walked off the stage with. And so I think that's going to start happening. I don't think you're going to be able to do a new MCU movie for every indie book, right? I don't think you're going to get these 30 movie long deals, right? We'll never get that, but animation and animated productions have come a long way. I look at the new Demon Slayer stuff. Look at the new Chainsaw Man. Like, these are beautiful to watch in 4K. Yeah. I would, and I hope they don't make live action adaptations. I know Netflix is already talking about it, or they may be doing it with Demon Slayer, but like, it's close to visually perfect, Yeah. And so like, if we're going to start doing that, like, I would love that. Like new indie books, or like new Power Ranger animated stuff. So if that's the road that comics is wanting to go, is like, maybe we can pipeline you into an animated series or an animated movie, animated shorts to test things out. I'm super, super excited about that. And I think it gets more and more people into the medium, because Invincible sure did. And I think Radiant Black's gonna do the same. I think a lot of people are gonna be into it, because it's Power Rangers, but it's not, and I say that not as a critique and not as an insult. It's like the perfect blend of like adult issue. Like, if the Power Rangers aged, and
Higgins said that at the beginning, it was superhero Power Rangers. Like,
yeah,
he kind of made that comparison because he was coming off his big Power Rangers run.
Yeah. Which was also excellent. I need to finish that too.
I also, like, you're on the same age as me. Like, we're the generation that got into this stuff through Batman the Animated Series, through X-Men the Animated Series, through Spider-Man the Animated Series. Like, we have a history with animated series where it makes sense, and we know that if you tell adult stories in an animated series, it'll get you excited about these things. And I watch, like, kids in my family, whether it's nephews or whatever, they're watching anime, and they're not watching kiddie anime. They're watching some pretty intense, pretty adult stuff, and not in a sexual manner, but just in the stories they're telling are not talking down to them, and they love it, dude. Absolutely love it. So yeah, of course that would work. Like,
yeah.
Our industry needs to look more at what is working in other fields, instead of asking, like, why is anime kicking our ass, and bitching and moaning about it. Ask it and be like, well, what are they doing? And anime is number one. Like, it's the biggest growing medium out there right now.
And DC, I will argue, and they're not all bangers, but I am a huge fan of the DC animated movies. I have been for a long time. And Marvel never really Marvel did some cool motion comics a while back. Like, I was kind of into those for a while. And then, like, Marvel had like the Mighty Avengers and the Avengers. Those did well. There was a couple new Spider-Man animated shows that did well. But Marvel has never really dove into that animated movie.
They tried. That Avengers cartoon they did, I think it went like 3 or 4 seasons, is awesome. Yes. Like, one of the best cartoons of all time. They tried doing movies, but where they failed that DC succeeded was they tried to create new stories for the most part, instead of adapting the stories you already have. And that's where DC also did them just better. Like, I thought the animation was better on DC. They knew how to do it. And nowadays and I see DC going down this path, and I hope they don't go full bore, but Marvel's more, well, we're not making something unless it's MCU related. It's no. Like, what if was really great and I enjoyed it for what it was. But what if you did that and then did a Planet Hulk movie?
Yeah.
Or, what if you did that and did a actual Civil War movie or something like that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it would go further for the medium. But I also just don't think that superheroes in comics are the growth medium. I think independent creator-owned titles are the growth medium.
I'm with you. I think we've plateaued, and we're seeing that too, though. Like, something is killing the children. I mean, that's right. Still to this day, one of the biggest indie titles out there, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting both both a cinematic debut and a animated debut. It's getting like two different movies. But yeah, I think a lot of the big I think it's just be like Substack. Let's look at, like, remember when Substack first came about, and they James was one of the first people to get the grants. It was like a few people. Hickman took one, but like James's was a big deal because James like walked away from DC, or not totally walked away, but like.
Well, he's coming off of Batman.
Yeah, he took a smaller position, to smaller role. So I'm not leaving, but I'm not going to do as much, and I'm going to start doing Tiny Onion on Substack. And now that was a great move, right? Tiny Onion's doing crazy shit. So I'm seeing it like that. You're going to start seeing like James, who's already doing animated stuff. Hickman, more animated projects. Already we know Energon animated stuff's coming, right? They've talked about it multiple times. We haven't seen anything yet, but we know it's coming. Now we know Radiant Black's coming. And I got to hear, like, one of the Boy Meets World actors, I think, was at that party, and they didn't have any animation to show, but they played some audio, and like just the audio of like them talking through scenes of the comic sound. Like, I was like, the audio's great, and the acting, like the voice acting's really good. So like that. Anyway, I think this is going to be that start, right? You're going to see a lot of these big name stuff, these big name guys with these new animated movie or miniseries deals or whatever. I think that's going to start rolling out. And then I think some of these other comic guys, some of these other indie guys that have good stories, I think they're going to start reaching out. And what's cool about this, Chris, is I think it's going to be good for indie animation too, right? Because even if the book is great, like, not everybody's going to get a major animated studio deal, right? There's hundreds of people that work on these productions. They're astronomical feats. But I mean, like 30-minute shorts, 45-minute shorts from small animated people. I see maybe Kickstarter campaigns for animated production starting to be a thing. Yeah. I do kind of feel like it's gonna start to explode, and I think it's gonna do it the right way. And I don't think we're gonna have that animosity where like a lot of people are like, oh, I tried to get this movie made and it didn't get made, so now I'm going to make it into a comic book. And you can totally tell, right? You can totally tell I'm not super passionate about the medium. I don't totally get page turns and scene changes, and we're just gonna dump this thing out and try and sell it and make something of it. I don't think you're gonna get that at all. I think you're gonna see passion projects extended into passion productions and back and forth, right? And I don't think it's going to be like, I got to do one because I failed at the other. I think it's going to be opportunities of like how to tell our stories differently, and so it's real exciting. So that's one of the big things I took away from was this community, this togetherness, the discourse, these podcasts, people like us, press. But also, like, more and more retailers are doing this. More and more creators are doing their own podcasts. Artists are doing drawing streams and stuff now, right? But it's important, and we are unifying people, even when you don't think you are, right? It's just like the nerds like to talk about things and know that there's a place for them, and these are digital places where they can come hang out, basically, right? So community is super important. Manga has a growing importance in the community, in the shops, like I was very, very excited about that. And then, third was just like this animation deal is we're just seeing it. And I just think it's going to pop off because live action movies are cool, man. But look at the medium, look at the art we love. It's our comic books aren't hyper realistic, right? I mean, like Alex Ross even is like, it's hyper realistic, but it's painted, so it's not photorealistic all the way. He's close because he's crazy, right? But it's just like the art that we absorb on a daily level does not look like the MCU. It does not, it doesn't look like a movie. It looks more like an animated. It looks like a cell shaded. It's bright. It's colorful. And just makes
not
sense.
everything needs to be live action.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't think that Invincible works live action. Like it would be really tough to pull that off. But the MCU, the DC universe, like they found a way to make it work live action. It's kind of the same, I think, with comics where everybody wants like the big series and then they want the spinoffs. But it's like, hey, your B character over here, I don't need the solo series. Let that character be a B character. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a cool character, works with the team, works with the universe, whatever, but we don't need solo series. And Marvel and DC are very, very guilty of that. Mm-hmm. And it goes the same with the medium. Like, not everything's going to fit in a certain medium. Like, this book might work better as, what if we did a video game spinoff of it? Okay, let's do that. And this one over here is like, well, that probably works as live action, like really serious drama. But then that one, that's a goofy animated movie. Let's do that. Like, we can play around with it. It doesn't have to be a one track. You can really figure out. I didn't even
think of gaming, like, because that's a movie too. I mean, if you modern gamings, if you take like cut scenes and dialogue scenes and stuff like that, I mean, you're still for an 8 to 12 hour game, an hour of that is scripted storytelling, right? So that's still very much a movie. Even
take that out, like look at even some of the smaller gaming studios, like a He-Man video game. You could do this big live AAA, 8 to 10 hour Last of Us style fucking He-Man game, or you could do what they're doing right now, which is a 32-bit side scroller beat 'em up game where every so often you pull a sword out and go, I have the power, and slash a bunch of people. Like, that's what I want out of He-Man game.
Yeah.
So yeah, even that, like, it doesn't have to be that one thing.
Exactly.
So there's just so many avenues for them to go, and I forget how we got here, but because we were at ComicsPro, we ended up.
Well, going back to ComicsPro, that's I hear a lot of, and from the other show I produce, Comic Industry Insiders and Comic Industry Insiders Live. We have retailers on and we talk about the market. We do sales data every week. We do like the top 400, which, by the way, if you go to piranhadm.com and sign up, you may not think sales data is for you, but so like basically every week, you don't have to look at the top 400. But like every week, like you look at the top 50, you can see what the top 50 hot books are. If I talked about new book, I talk about Kickstarter on my show, right? So, but if I talked about new books or reviewed them and stuff, like it's very useful. We drop it every Friday. Anyway, just plug there. But every retailer I know says over and over again, like, diversify or suffer, right? Like, sell games in your store, sell cards, sell Pokemon shit, right? And there are still retailers there's some retailers that don't want to stock new comics. There's some retailers that don't want to buy new indie shit. I've literally had DMs come through on the Comics and Magazine socials saying my shop isn't going to stock this magazine. And like, everybody's hyped about this magazine, right? So it's just like, there's just some shops that don't give a fuck about new stuff, and it's just, they want back issues. They want to buy collections. They want people to come in and ruffle through them. But like almost every shop that's like doing well, they have big manga sections. They have big gaming sections. You can buy Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards. You can buy Loungefly shit. You can buy action figures. You can buy your little gaming figures and your paint sets and your TTRPG rule books. Every shop that is doing well is accommodating to more and more people. And what they're finding out is a lot of the markets blend, right? So a lot of your comic people play those games or like Pokemon too, and they're going to buy, they like your shop, so they're going to buy stuff while they're there. But also, like, when you do like the gaming events and you bring more people in, so it just helps people stay in your shop longer. And when you have all this cool stuff, it's very hard to just sit in a shop and not buy stuff. It really, we're all little kids when we get around that stuff. We're little kids with adult money now. So anyway, You gotta embrace it, and like you said, I think the medium needs to do that too. You know, it doesn't have to be live action, it doesn't have to be one thing or another, but it doesn't just have to be a comic book and a trade paperback and a hardcover. You know, you can extend your world numerous ways, and I think you should.
And the evidence of that is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was the biggest thing around, to the point where somehow it's still around in the TV series.
It's so big they're coloring it. They're re-releasing the whole series colored.
But people who had never read a comic book in their life watched that show and would walk into the store. And this is the genius of Kirkman, because I give him props for being the guy that created the soft cover omnibus, or at least making it popular, because he had those compendiums. Remember those giant compendiums where it was like 50 issues of Walking Dead?
Yeah.
And
you try, I'm anal about my spines and books, so like I would always like cradle the spine. My hands would cramp like trying to like delicately open them to like keep them pristine. Yeah.
But my retailer, every time when a season was over, he would have a bunch of those and a bunch of 1 through 4 stocked and ready in his closet. And people come in, hey, Walking Dead's over. I'm just really loving it. I heard it was a comic. Do you have that? Here you go. People had never read comics before. Like, it works. It does. You just got to have the right property matched with the right medium. Like, and it'll work. But, dude, you haven't talked to Mike ever, I don't think, but the guy I co-host this with on occasion, he reads exclusively digitally, but he has 2 local shops in his area. So every so often he'll like, if it's someone he likes, he'll go and buy the book at the shop, try to support it and all that. He was really into Ahoy for a while. And when he was trying to get Ahoy books from them, he would go into the shop, and the guy behind the counter every time, I'm not going to carry that crap. And he's like, why do I want to come to your store? Yeah. Like, you got me to come this once, and this is what I get. Those retailers, I hope they're dying away. I don't want retailers to die, but like those ones we can get rid of.
Yeah, and they those,
the ones that are DMing you.
Those people talk about get talked about at these conventions like that too, because it's just like don't be that guy. Yeah. But you know what? It still very much happens, because you hear about it, and it's like or some but there were a couple publishers that like said that, right, that they were like, stop telling your customers they're reading bad books. Like, so this happens every day. Like, we laugh and we joke, and now some people want that angry shop guy, right? It's like an angry bartender, or it's like an angry, like a gas station clerk that for the you when you smoke cigarettes, you talk to for a couple minutes, and he hates life as much as you do, or whatever. Like, like some people like that. But if you're gonna be that guy, you still need to order those books. Like, if you're gonna be like, really, you're reading that? I mean, yeah, it's ordered for you, but really, you gotta, you can't just turn people away. Like that blows my mind. I deal with this with clients sometimes, honestly, and like, it's just like, especially with crowdfunding, and it's like we're throwing these ideas around, and we're like, oh, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And they're like, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to do that, or that's going to cost money. And it's just like, everything costs a little bit of money, but you also make some, and it's just some people just don't want to. They don't want to adapt. They don't want to change. They don't want to think about new ways to market. It's crazy to think, Chris, but there are people that own property. I can't imagine ever owning property, but like, these people own property, own shops, wake up every day, get to walk into a comic book shop, which isn't, that's a hard life. There's a lot of work involved, and if you do it right, you're keeping track of your clients and pull it, it's a lot. And the ordering and the pre-ordering, it's just not retail is tough. But if you get to do that around comic books, there's also some magic in the air, right? When it gets real tough, you can still be like, we sell comics, So there's people that get to live that life that are like, I don't want new customers. I don't want these young kids who read Dogman coming into my shop. I don't want these kids asking for Ninja Turtle Magic the Gathering card. Like, it's like, really? Because Let me tell you something, man. I don't have a lot of money, Chris, but I got a brand new Apple credit card. and I'm thinking hard about, I don't know shit about Magic the Gathering, but like I keep seeing these Ninja Turtle sets and the card art and the cool boxes and the pizza dice and all this neat shit. And I'm like, I could just get it. I could just get it and see what happens,
Dude.
you know?
They almost got me with Final Fantasy, and then
Same.
they jacked the price at the last second, and I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
nope, I'm out.
I had the same talk with friends about like, dude, I'm really scared. I'm about to drop a bunch of bones on Magic the Gathering, and I withstood that, right? I was like, and I still kind of want them. Like when I see the Sephiroth cards or like the cool Sephiroth and Cloud binders and shit, and I'm still like, but yeah, like the price went up crazy, but yeah, oh man, this new Ninja Turtle stuff just looks crazy, and then there's like a new rule or a new game type or something, like a new 4-player co-op where you play the 4 brothers or something. I don't know, man. I don't know a lot about it, but they made like a new game type and I was like, damn it. But yeah, anyway, it seems cool. The same thing with, I've tried to buy them. Gundam has a new trading card game. And I keep seeing advertisements for it on Facebook and I've never seen them in a store. I don't know where to buy them. They're always sold out online. And so like, that's the only thing that saved me is the Gundam sets are always sold out. Cause I love those robots, man. Like I love that shit so much. So yeah, anyway, but again, like, could you imagine if Magic the Gathering never branched out, all the millions and millions of dollars they made? And I guarantee, the first person who was like, what if we did Family Guy Magic the Gathering cards? Like, shut up, Fred. You know, like, what are you talking about? It's a fantasy game, you know? Or even like, you know, what if we combine Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering? Shut up, dude. No, or two different things, you know? And like all the stuff they've done, just as, you know, if you locked yourself in a hallway with no doors and they would have stayed making money. But I mean, like the fandom that increased, the new fandoms that brought in. I mean, like I see Travis Gibb is another reason. I see his Facebook post. He's getting like custom turtle deck boxes and shit, getting ready to like go hard on the Ninja Turtle Magic the Gathering. So like I see people that like don't really play Magic that are like, yeah, like I'm gonna be a kid and spend stupid money on cards, you know, and I'm like, I'm feeling that, you know, and it's and then if you start doing that, and then you look at all the new Ninja Turtle stuff going on, like, oh, Gene Luen Yang has a new Ninja Turtle run in IDW. IDW is about to put out these new. They already have one of Godzilla. They're compendium or compact sizes like DC compact, but they're like 400, 500 pages and nicer page weight. They're like little tiny compendiums. And they open real nice and read real nice. And there's about to be a Ninja Turtle Saturday morning one comes out in March. And
I saw the Godzilla one at my local Barnes and Noble.
Yeah,
they're nice. Like they're
like
they're
12,
perfect.
$15 or something. Like they're very competitively priced. Again, talking about diversifying and stuff, you know, what if DC never did their compact edition? That compact style has rippled through the comic book industry. Every publisher's stealing it. Kickstarter people are stealing it. Indie people are stealing it. And they're not really stealing it. Like Manga did it first, right? But they're just like, let's shrink these down. Let's charge a couple bucks less for them, you know, and people are loving it. So like, yeah, like the book talk and stuff has really done a lot for the trade paperback game. Because
retailers are loving those too because it's an easy sell.
Yeah.
$10 here, like the whole run of Authority. $10. Okay, I'll try Authority now. You know, like,
and then there's some like the hardcore collector heads buy every single one because now like everybody wants that DC compact shelf. Yeah. You know, like, and it's like people did with the Marvel Essentials, right? The Essential editions, and they would like color match them and the spines matched. And anyway, like it's so it's really cool, but. Like who would have thought like you know, hey, let's make cheaper, smaller books that are easier to get, you know, like, duh. Why didn't people think? And then, again, why is manga doing so well? You know, a volume of manga is $8.99. You know, like a manga omnibus, those fancy hardcover books I talk about, those are 50, 60, maybe 70. like they're still not like 125.99 or whatever like a Marvel or DC omnibus is, you know, like so you know it's something to think about. And
It's why I've been telling my retailer, like, I think those soft cover omnibuses, omnibus, however we saying it, are going to be huge because that's how I'm reading Six Gun. That's how I'm reading Sex Criminals. That's how I'm, like, all these books, I've been getting those where it's like 25 to 50 issues depending on the book. And they're cheap, very cheap for how much you're getting. And it's great.
they just did an East to West one too, which is a East to West, a phenomenal Hickman book. You can get all that for $35 now. You know, like
that might need a reread now. But Blake, I appreciate you taking so much time, chat about things, and glad you had fun at ComicsPro. It sounds like a blast, but you also have some stuff to pimp, and I think you said a few times, but Comics the Magazine, that's coming out soon, isn't it?
it is March 11th now. There were some shipping snafus, but yeah, March 11th the magazine will drop everywhere, and because of the shipping issue, everybody, if your shop has a Lunar account, whether they ordered it or not, they get a magazine. So we are giving like every Lunar account shop a copy of the magazine, whether they ordered it or not. Most of you did. We really appreciate it. But there's a very, 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 very good chance that even if you didn't pre-order the magazine, on March 11th, if you go into your local comic shop, you probably will be able to get it. There's also a big chance that if you have pull lists at your local comic shop, it might be offered for free because we work bundle deals with a lot of retailers and stuff. And a lot of retailers we're talking about, like for clients that have so many titles in their pull or whatever, they get one for free every month. That's been a big talk. Maybe some free comic book day promotions happening too. We're not in control of that, but we definitely like encourage.
Yes.
So yeah, like March 11th, it's really cool. We worked really hard on it. And you can find us Comics and Magazine on socials. You know, things are coming. There's going to be, we want to like extend the comic industry insiders into the Comics and Magazine. There's talks of like podcasts and live streams and stuff. If you sign up for the mailing list and stuff, you will get notified of that. So we got big plans coming. And then every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we do Comic Industry Insiders Live. I produce that and do all the slides, and I try and make the slides funny. And we talk about top industry news and big stuff going on. We usually have like publishers and retailers come in, talk about new stuff. It's a fun show, and we talk sales data. So like we talk about like the top 10 publishers every week and what they're putting out. We mentioned Ignition. Like almost every time Ignition has a book out, they are in like the top 10 publishers. So it's cool seeing good people doing cool things and succeeding. And then on my show, I do Wednesday nights, I do Blake Buzz at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I don't even know. I have a topic and I just don't talk about it. Basically, I make a topic for thumbnail purposes only. And then we just tell stories, but I try and have like indie people and Kickstarter folks on, talk about campaigns going live, new stuff people got going on. So we do that Wednesday nights. Yeah, so I try and stay busy, and I'm trying. I really did notice a boost in views and stuff when I was doing a Substack long form post every week, right? I would do a long form post, and I read this was cool. I made pizza this week. That was literally the last one. I was like, I made pizza, I read a cool comic, and this was who was on the show last week. And like a handful, like I really did, like people would watch the show after. And so I need to get back to doing Substack posts. I'm tired a lot, like I'm just like this, I don't travel a lot, so like six days away from home and then airport shenanigans. I wasn't ready for like that ass kicking and like time zone hopping and stuff. Like it's been a hard week. But
and you're also working on Kickstarter pages behind the scenes too.
Yes. Yeah, I do Kickstarter pages for Prana, and I also do for Laguna Studios. Almost every Kickstarter for Laguna Studios I've built. I've been doing for a second. This last month I didn't do as many, but I was doing like 2 campaigns a month for a hot minute. But it's so like I build the campaign and help with updates and stuff, but I'm not like you know, like once the campaign's built and live, I get to step back a little bit and I'm just there to like help with things, or like, oh, we need a stretch goal graph. I still do work, but it's, you know, like that's how I'm able to, it's not like I'm doing 2 campaigns solo with my book. I'm doing all the promotion and every, you know, so it's, but yeah, it gets crazy. But yeah, it's, I do build a lot of Kickstarter pages. I'm getting good at it. I never knew, man. I do a lot more design. I'm about to pay for Adobe. I'm not happy about it. I've been trying to learn Affinity. I use Canva. I've made a lot of money on Canva. You know, Canva's $13 a month and Affinity's free, but I'm struggling learning to do what I need to do in Affinity. And when I've talked to other designers and everybody's just like, oh, just get Photoshop, use the lasso tool, it does it all by itself. And I'm like, okay, that's like the Adobe Creative Suite's like $70 a month. So, but I also think if I get it, I think better things may come from it too. And if I keep doing this, that's like industry. But yeah, anyway, I'm just not, I guess I'm a designer now. I designed an ad. I designed an ad in the magazine. Like they let me do an ad in the magazine that, you know, so that's crazy. I made an advertisement.
Letting you do all kinds of adult stuff now.
Copies. What?
Letting you do all kinds of adult stuff now.
I know. They're like, there's kind of. I made all the ad sell sheets, like the rate cards and stuff that we give to publishers for advertisements and stuff. Like I made all those that they handed out at ComicsPro, and so yeah, I get to do some stuff to like, because Rico's the main designer. So I get to do like some little stuff to take things off of his plate because he's like making every single page of the magazine. But yeah, it's really cool. I've been getting a lot of crazy opportunities, man. I forget sometimes it hasn't even been a year where I was fired from comics. And so like looking back, I ran into a couple people that I know and worked with from the Metal Ninja days, you know, and I was kind of nervous bumping into them, and everything was fine, you know, but they were both like, you're where you need to be now, and we can tell. And I still work a lot, and like I'm under crazy deadlines, and there's a lot of stress and shit, but like we're doing cool stuff, man. I'm helping more creators. Like the reach of the magazine is crazy. And like, you know, we do all this stuff with shops and like helping shops sell their books better and set up their shops better. I like the stuff they learn from like watching our show and listen to other retailers talk about how they have stuff set up. And it feels really good. And like I said, like, the Bink organization and stuff that they do for the industry and working with them, and you know, a lot of comic book humble bundles. If you buy, like, the money goes to Bink, so that's even like another reason to buy comics off humble bundle. But dude, I got the charity auction had some of the coolest shit auctioned off as like a nerd, and like also like big manga sets and hardcover sets and all this crazy, some great art, you know. But like in a night, I watched like the comic industry come together and raise like over $65,000 for this charity, like in a night. And like, it was just cool to like be in that room and like feel that, you know? And that's like, if you take anything of like what I've said of like what ComicsPro is, like, that's it. It's generosity and enthusiasm for all this stuff that we love, and like how to help people make more of it. Like, honestly, that's kind of what it is. And so it's very cool. And yeah, if you're I don't really know how the press thing works. Like I said, my deal was kind of special. I was out there, like, you know, running the soundboard and stuff, and I worked really, really hard hoping, and I kept telling people that too, man. I was like, they were like, Blake, you're working so hard. I was like, I just want to get invited back next year. So, but yeah, it's cool. In our industry, like, it's hard to go, like, you hear things all the time about how something scary is happening in comics, or like no one has any money, or a shop's closing, or bad stuff, or, you know, bad news at a publisher, or people aren't getting paid. And of course, all the diamonds, right? The diamond doom and gloom and all that money. But like,
the apocalypse is always coming.
Yeah. But like, I saw nothing close to that. All I saw was excitement enthusiasm, new books, crazy new projects. People excited, not worried. And I definitely saw some publishers spending money, like, giving out, whether it's printing these books or getting the books out or getting an in and out truck to come feed people, or the private parties that were offsite, that people hosted. You don't do that if you do that for a reason, and you don't.
Yeah.
And you do that when you're able to, right? None of these publishers are like, all right, our last ditch effort is to spend thousands of dollars on a party at a brewery and hope this gets us out of the red, right? No, you do that.
No, when you're in the red, you stop spending money.
Exactly. and there was money being spent at this thing, and yeah, so it's cool. The industry's in a good place, and I think a lot of what we talked about, we're going to see. I think more animated series, more games, more weird stuff, more cool fun things, just more ways to experience these books we love. Like, I love reading, and we definitely need to keep reading. Like, please never stop reading. But there's other ways we can have fun with these characters and the lore and all this crazy stuff.
Definitely.
Keep reading comics. Keep listening to Chris too, because they do good stuff. You guys, I always appreciate you, man, because you always look out for the indie people too. So
I appreciate you. So yeah, everything you're working on, man, keep it up. Everybody, when this releases next week, Comics the Magazine will be out. I know mine's already pre-ordered. Hopefully you all pre-ordered yours too. But if not, check out your local comic shop and find that there. Blake, I know you said you're off X. Any other social media you want to pimp before we take off?
Instagram, Blake's Buzz. Substack. Substack is Strange Dog Times or Stone Dog Times, but that's about to go back to Blake's Buzz. That was a silly thought that didn't play out. I need to rebrand the rebrand. But yeah, Blake Morgan on Facebook and Blake's Buzz everywhere. I'm pretty easy to find. And like, I'm always around if you have questions and stuff. One of the good things about, or one of the reasons I'm where I am is because Kickstarter people took me under their wing, gave me opportunities, that turned into jobs, that turned into a career. And so like, I can't run your campaign for free, but if you ever have a question, or want to know something about Kickstarter, or if you have a weird idea and you want to know if it's good or bad, or reach. I'm always a DM away to if you need an ear or some help. So
definitely, so everybody
don't make me regret saying that.
You know what you got to send them, everybody. I don't even need to say it. Just no, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, everybody, go follow Blake and all this stuff. Go check out Comics the Magazine. You know where to find me. It's at Fortress Chris everywhere. So do that if you want to as well. But yeah, Blake, appreciate your time. Appreciate the cool conversation, and we'll definitely be doing it again.
Yeah, definitely. Future. I want to do more. This is part of my 20. I had like a couple podcasting goals for 2026. I know we're ending, and I always do this when we end. I tell another fucking story, but it was I wanted to do a mailing list, like start a mailing list, either whether it's Substack or taking Substack somewhere else. I wanted to work more on a newsletter mailing list, and I wanted to do more with the press community, or like just like have more like shows where we just like sit around and talk about like what we're into, right? Not what the publisher is sending us to talk about, not what the latest guest sent us to talk about, but like, dude, when everything is like chill, I just want to play Arc Raiders. I just like, I want to have like, we sit around and just talk about what we're doing when we're not on a mic, and more stuff like that. 'Cause we're people.
You know where I am.
I do. I'll find you. So, but I really appreciate this. I don't get interviewed a lot. I'm all like energized and shit.
Now he's all energized, everybody. With that, we'll see you out here next week.
Thanks, everybody.